the Wells Fargo Minnesota Sports Prep Update for Tuesday, December 3rd. I'm Ryan Phelps. Since we've officially switched gears from the fall to the winter sports season, it's time to look ahead at some of our favorite winter sports, or maybe to look back is more appropriate, and check out some of the history. And we'll start today with girls hockey. Although girls have been playing hockey in Minnesota for dozens of years, it was usually on boys' teams. In fact, before the mid-90s, most girls who wanted to play hockey were forced to play ringette in high school. It wasn't until the winter of 1994-95 that girls hockey was adopted as an official sport by the high school league. Back then it was a one-class tournament held at Aldrich Arena. The state championship was in February of 1995, and Apple Valley beat South St. Paul 2-0 for the first ever girls state championship. The tournament split into two classes in 2002, which is how it is still played today. But the popularity has grown tremendously over the past 20 years or so, from just a handful of teams to about 120 now. And like every sport, girls hockey too has its powerhouse programs. Apple Valley and South St. Paul were dominant early. Roseville has had some strong programs. Blake, Benilde St. Margaret's, Breck, Minnetonka, and Warroad seem to pop up just about every year. And just like we see in the boys' ranks, many girls have gone on to success at the collegiate and international level.
I like saving money. I mean, it's not like I have a purse stuffed with coupons or... Okay, I do. The other day, I went into Wells Fargo to get help with a car loan.
Good news. You qualify for our double discount promotion. Get double the interest rate discount we normally give on select new loans and lines of credit just for being a Wells Fargo checking package customer.
And the best part, I didn't even need a coupon.
Come to Wells Fargo to discuss how the double discount promotion can help with the interest rate on your new loan or line of credit. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Subject to credit qualification. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. Equal housing lender.
Whether you have a big building project or just a long to-do list that needs to get done, it always seems like you need some type of tool handy. At your local Hardware Hank, you can find a wide array of KT industry tools, including their 15-piece quarter-inch SAE drive socket set. Forged from chrome vanadium steel that is fully heat-treated and tempered, comes with a lifetime guarantee, and packed in a sturdy, portable metal case. Visit your local Hardware Hank for KT Industries 15-piece quarter-inch SAE drive socket set today. It's time for our Hardware Hank Nuts and Bolts Athletes of the Week, which are selected every Tuesday based on your nominations to MinnesotaScores.net. Each week we pick two winners, one from the Metro and one from Greater Minnesota. The outstate winner is Alex Strand from Roseau Boys Hockey, and the Metro winner is Tyler Klein from Blaine Boys Hockey. The Wells Fargo Minnesota Sports Prep Update can be heard right here every Monday through Friday, and for more coverage you can find us on the web at MinnesotaScores.net. That's Minnesota-Scores.net. I'm Ryan Phelps on Minnesota Sports Radio.
The time is now for another round of live local play-by-play coverage of Bloomington High School sports. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Brandy Warm Beer, State Farm Insurance Agent, The Mulch Store, and in partnership with BEC TV. Catch all of the action all season long on your home of Bloomington High School sports, PSB Media.
And that is the national anthem live here from Bloomington Ice Garden in Bloomington, Minnesota, on a very cold night for girls high school hockey, as we have a South Suburban Conference matchup between the Lakeville South Cougars and the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars right here on PSB Media, and also being simulcast on BEC TV, Bloomington Educational Cable Television in Bloomington on Channel 16. So glad to have you with us here on this cold Thursday evening. My name is Brett Johnson, joined along by Jeff Garten, who will be running camera and also chiming in with some color commentary every once in a while. Should be a good matchup here between Jefferson and Lakeville South, as both these teams sit in the top half of the South Suburban Conference here in the metro area of Minnesota, as Lakeville South, after starting the season with a 4-1 loss against Eden Prairie, have rattled off 4 straight wins. They beat Roar Road back on November 15th, 3-1. Then they've won 3 straight South Suburban Conference games against Eastview, Apple Valley, and Egan. Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, on the other hand, having a good season in their first year as a co-op along with Bloomington Kennedy. So far on the season, they come in with a record of 5-2. They've only lost 1 conference game. They have victories over North St. Paul, Dodge County, Apple Valley, Holy Family, Prior Lake. Their 2 losses came to very talented teams in Wayzata and Burnsville. And we're underway from Bloomington Ice Garden as Lakeville South will win the faceoff. Up on the puck for Bloomington Jefferson is Kendall Fashing. 4 points already on the season for Bloomington this season. Between the pipes will be Bailey Plemon for the Jaguars. She comes in having played every minute of every game for the Jaguars so far on the year. Has a 5-2 record with a very good 1.96 goals against average and .930 save percentage. It's a veteran group of goaltenders for Bloomington Jefferson, as all 3 of them are seniors on their roster. Jaguars will have it from their own end.
That is definitely one position you do want experience at, is in the net.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of interesting, despite 3 seniors, they've had Landon play every single minute this season, but I'm sure we'll get a look at the other seniors as the year goes on for the Jaguars. Battle for the puck in that near corner. A couple of Jaguars and Cougars are battling for it. It'll come away to Lakeville South. They'll have it down low. And spinning is Annabelle Smith. Smith will have the puck. She'll get it up to the point. Fanning on a slap shot, but then getting a tip was number 23 again. Annabelle Smith, after Kaylee Redblin had fanned on that initial shot, kind of trying to wind up on that slap shot. Didn't get all of it. It almost worked out in the favor of the Cougars. Get our first whistle of the game as Bloomington just iced the puck. Kind of interesting here, Jeff. Have some other media as well, including, I think they're doing a Perk It Play feature on this game, if I'm not mistaken. I think you saw something with them, Jeff, about how they're doing a feature on the first-year co-op of Jefferson and Kennedy.
Yeah, that will be airing tomorrow night during 10 o'clock on KARE 11.
And how about that? KARE 11's not even a sponsor for us. Little free publicity never hurt anyone, right?
Hey, if we can, maybe.
Eric Perkins is a good guy, though. I've worked with him on a couple of occasions when he actually did features for the adapted floor hockey program here, known as the South Suburban Flyers. They're a co-op between the Bloomington, Eden Prairie, Edina, and Richfield schools. Bloomington trying to get their first offense going of the game as that one was turned aside.
And that's definitely something that they want to do in varsity, because they did score in the JV game, but it was very late in the 3rd period, and they ended up losing 5-1, Brett.
Yeah, that was Lakeville South who won that JV game by a score of 5-1, and it's always kind of an interesting way it works out, where the JV game, especially with girls hockey, definitely is the future of your program. Trying to get a look at some future players, and future certainly looks bright for Lakeville South. Their head coach is a very familiar Minnesota name in Natalie Darwitz. Won 3 silver medals for the women's U.S. national team. It'll be sent into the far corner, where Jefferson will send that out to the neutral zone. It'll be tipped, but it'll be tipped just before that center line. It'll be an icing call against Bloomington early on with 14:15 to go here in the first period. Not many point-blank scoring chances so far in this one, although this game's just a little less than 3 minutes old. Lakeville wins the face-off. There's a shot that's turned away by Flamin. Jefferson will send that up to the blue line and out to the neutral zone, where Lakeville South will have to regroup. They'll dump it back in. It'll be chased down by Rachel Graff. On the season, Rachel Graff has 3 assists for Bloomington. There's Lakeville South sending it right back into the Bloomington zone. Up to the point they go, and that one again is turned away by Plamin. Well, Lakeville South trying to get some shots going from the point. And around that perimeter, here's Jefferson trying to clear it from their own zone. Not out, though, as the Cougars are able to hold that in. Annabelle Smith working her way as she centers it, but that pass intercepted and will be flipped out into the neutral zone. Again, thanks for tuning into our broadcast here on PSB Media of girls high school hockey. You can also watch this game on BEC TV if you live in the Bloomington area, over on, I believe, channel 16. And that one is gloved down by the netminder for
Glove
Lakeville
save and a
South.
beauty.
Yeah, definitely, and it was kind of a weird shot. I don't think Chloe Crosby saw that all the way.
Yeah,
Didn't really
it looked
react
like
to that too much.
Looked like your defensive, one of the defenders actually ended up kind of being used as a screen.
I definitely agree with that assessment. Out into the Bloomington zone. Here comes a break for Lakeville South, but a save is made by Plamen. Off of that shot from down low on the right side, Lakeville South will maintain possession. They'll try to center it, but Bloomington's able to clear it back out to the neutral zone, where it'll be chased down by Kelsey Olson. Kelsey Olson for Lakeville South having a good season with 2 assists through the 5 games that Lakeville South has played so far this season. And that one will be flipped up into the bench, as we'll get a whistle here with 12:28 to go. And no score here between Jefferson and Lakeville South. You can also email us in the broadcast booth during tonight's game. We're at psbchannel4@gmail.com, psbchannel4@gmail.com. Happy to read your messages live on the air. That one will be sent into the corner. You can also tweet at us. We're at PSBMN, at PSBMN. Holly Freemark from her own zone for the Cougars. We'll send that out to center. Having a little trouble on the stick handle was Hallie Gill. Now there's a shot that goes wide of Plamen, as that was Haley Rendelin firing that shot for the Cougars.
That may have been a better opportunity to maybe fake a shot and go with the pass, because they had a 2-on-1 opportunity there for a second.
And speaking of some odd man rushes, here's a chance for Jefferson. They'll actually be 3-on-3. They'll dump it in as they'll go off on a piecemeal change and now send that into that far corner. Back from their own blue line, they'll get that up ahead to number 11, Alexandra Bolsma. Good pass up to Bolsma. She'll drop it for a teammate. That's number 13, Nikki Nightingale, one of the senior captains on Bloomington. She'll try to stick handle her way to the right side. Then we'll backhand that to the end wall. A couple of players for each team will go after the puck. Bouncing puck will go right back behind the net. Have the goaltender for Lakeville South. And in the face-off circle, Lakeville South will take possession as they overshoot on their attempted pass to Madison Brown. It was picked off by Bloomington. You'll see some changes. Here's Lakeville South across center ice. It'll be dumped in by Kelsey Olson. She'll chase it down herself, but not before it's swatted away by the Bloomington defense. Here comes the Jaguars. They tried to hit Kendall Fashing, but couldn't quite get that cleanly. It'll be played back out into neutral. Still a battle for the puck. Fashing just swatting at it. She'll now send it back to her defense, where the Jaguars will regroup. Well, it was interesting. During the last game we broadcast for the Bloomington Jefferson/Kennedy girls hockey team, they had a youth night where they had all the different youth players out on the ice, honoring them, the future Bloomington hockey players. It was very cool to see now that Bloomington is a unified program at the youth and also the varsity level.
Never a bad idea to get the young pipeline to see a varsity game and get those spirits higher, and hopefully that motivates them to get out on the ice and skate and work on their game.
That was really cool too, because they had all the Bloomington players holding up their sticks, kind of making a tunnel for all the youngsters to skate through. And it was kind of funny once they got down to the 3- and 4-year-olds. Need a little help staying up on their feet.
Yeah, the younger generation, no matter what the sport, I think is always, or the event, I think, is always interesting to watch.
What's kind of sad, though, is that some of those 3- and 4-year-olds could probably skate better than I can. And maybe you, too.
I'm not going to say probably. I'll guarantee they probably can skate better than I can.
No disagreeing with me on that one either. That'll be an icing call against Lakeville South, their first of the game.
Way to boost my morale there, Brett.
Ego. We're still scoreless here with 9:06 to go in the first period. Off the face-off, it'll be sent to the end wall. Trying to slap at it and center it was a Bloomington player. Didn't quite get through all the way. As the Jaguars try to hold it in. And back to the end line it goes. They'll skate with it over to the far side corner. Get it up to the point to Rachel Gansky, a former Bloomington Kennedy player from last season. I recognize her name from broadcasting a few Kennedy games last season. Gansky was one of the top defensemen on the Kennedy girls hockey team last season, but as kind of is the story for a lot of programs all over the state of Minnesota. They've had to kind of consolidate and go into co-ops. Armstrong and Cooper did that last season where they're unified as one program.
I'm surprised Armstrong and Cooper actually don't do that for more of their sports, being that they are so close, and to try and compete more competitively with.
And it's actually turned out really well for the Armstrong-Cooper team, as in the state rankings, they're actually checking in rated number 16 in the state. We're going to get our first penalty of the game, as it'll be assessed to Olivia Stone of Bloomington, so it'll look here at a Lakeville South power play, which so far on the season has been very good. Check this out, Jeff, converting on 63% of their power plays, although a small sample size, they're 5 for 8 with a man advantage.
That's nothing to sneeze at. Any coach would take that almost any day.
Stone will get an interference call. That one will hit the low ceiling here at the Bloomington Ice Garden, as we'll get a whistle with 1:48 to go here on the power play.
Yeah, with the low ceiling in Bloomington Ice Gardens, I don't think you'll see any pucks flipped up into the air to try and get someone to skate underneath it.
So Lakeville South will win the face-off as they'll backhand that into the Bloomington zone, where it'll be chased down by Gansky. Gansky trying to clear it, and she'll have it taken away. Here's Lakeville South from the end line. They'll send that up to the point. It's really been a strategy they've used so far in this game, is trying to get it to their point players. Jefferson, if they hurry, will be 3-on-2, but that will be flipped out of play. With 7:36 to go in the first period and 1:22 here on the power play.
Yeah, shots from the point are never a bad idea, because then that allows you to have a chance to tip or let your forwards screen the goalies. And a goalie will admit it's hard to save a puck you can't see.
Lakeville South will send that deep into the Bloomington zone. Having possession will be Morgan Morse. Here's Morse up to the point. Looking and trying to shoot that one through traffic. It went wide. May have hit a body or two on the way. Back up to the point to Kelsey Olson. Olson over to Morse. Morse sent that down low, looking for a tip. It was swatted away, though, by the goaltender, Haley Clement. And she'll send that one aside as well. Backhanded to the end wall, but intercepted by Bloomington, and that will allow them to clear and go off on a change with 38 seconds to go on the Lakeville South power play.
That was a definite good shift for that penalty killing unit. We'll see if their second unit does as good for the last 37 seconds.
Yeah, Bloomington's looked pretty good here on the penalty kill. Lakeville South has had possession, but no real grade A chances yet, as that shot will be fired wide. Lakeville South will maintain possession as they'll work with it to the end boards. They'll send that up to the point. And there's a shot through some traffic, and they score! Lakeville South on the scoreboard first. Jeff, it looked like that one was through a screen, but nonetheless the Cougars score first on the power play.
Looked like that may have also been tipped there, Brett. Because it looked like it took a weird turn at the end.
I think you're right, looking at it on replay there, that it was tipped on the way to the net, so nonetheless, it will be 1-0 in favor of Lakeville South, as that goal will come just a little under 7 minutes to go here in the first period.
We'll see if that gives Lakeville momentum or if Jefferson's able to respond.
Get the official word on the goal. So Amanda Bogelin gets the goal. That's her first of the season. She now has 4 points, 1 goal and 3 assists. And now Lakeville South, their power play continues to be red hot. Now 6 for 9. How about that, converting on 2 out of every 3 power plays you get. That'll be a strategy for Bloomington. Stay off the out of the penalty box.
Stay out of the sin bin.
And just as we were talking about that, Bloomington Jefferson had a bouncing puck right in front of the net that no one was there to slap home. As the Bloomington Jaguars trying to respond here after that Lakeville South goal. Lakeville South is rated in the latest state poll. They're rated number 12. Bloomington, the co-op between the Kennedy and Jefferson, also rated number 20. So a couple of good teams that could definitely be players in terms of state tournament berths.
Or at least in conference play.
Well, that too. Winner of this game will be in first place in the South Suburban Conference. Kind of crowded atop the South Suburban Conference with a number of good teams.
But that's to be expected early in the season.
Absolutely. There are 2 undefeated teams in the South Suburban Conference right now. Lakeville South is one of them. At least undefeated in conference play, I should say. The Cougars have lost a non-conference game.
Don't mean to cut you off, Brett, but looks like Jefferson's going to be on the penalty kill again. Looked like it was a high stick call.
Yeah, Erica Beek will pick up the penalty on the. I'll go with your feeling on that one, a high sticking call, and boy, that's key because a very good Lakeville South power play unit's going to come right back out onto the ice. Just finishing up that point, though, Burnsville is the other undefeated team in the South Suburban Conference. And very observant there, Jeff. You're 1 for 1. That was indeed a high sticking call.
Well, what can I say? When I played sports, I spent a lot of time in the sin bin. I got used to seeing what the calls were.
Nice. I was going to say, a nice job down there by number 21, Rachel Graff of Bloomington. She was able to tie that up along the end boards against, I think, 3 Cougar players for about 10 or 12 seconds. That'll kill off some valuable seconds on the power play. But here comes the Cougars right back onto the attack. Now get that up to the point. A shot through traffic. That one almost got through again, just like that first goal. But good job by Bailey Plamen to stay with that one. That was a much tougher save than it looked like.
Looked like she saw it at the last second, the way she reacted to it. She dropped into the butterfly pretty late.
Here's Lakeville South weaving their way through. Getting it on her stick near the net was Annabelle Smith. Couldn't pull the trigger, though. It was good defense played there by the Bloomington Jaguars. Up at the point, it's Kelsey Olson. Tipped and snared out of the air by Bailey Plamen. We'll get a face-off with 43 seconds to go here on the penalty.
Yeah, Planet's been very impressive. I mean, other than the one tip, which those are going to get by a lot of goalies. She's made a lot of very nice glove saves and been able to tip a lot of them aside the net.
Yeah, tough to save the ones you can't see, as they always say. Morgan Morse.
Or even the ones you don't expect, because she was in position and then it got tipped.
Kelsey Olson back to Morse. Centering attempt, loose puck, but getting it for Bloomington is Alexandra Brolsma, as she'll send it down the length of the ice with 15 seconds left, and we get an inadvertent whistle. I think the referee, if I'm not mistaken.
Another high stick?
I thought he maybe called icing by mistake, but he's going to call a high stick, I think, against Lakeville South, so that's going to actually even things out, as it'll be Kaylee Radvilin who will go to the box for the Cougars, so we'll be... Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
From my experience watching some of the Lakeville's games, I think the 4-on-4 style actually may benefit them more with the more open ice, and their coach is used to playing on the wider ice, so I'm sure she's had them practicing like the European style.
It'll be 4-on-4 for 5 more seconds before Bloomington will go on the power play. And now Bloomington is full strength, as we'll get our first look at their power play. But for right now, they got to get the puck away from number 15, I should say, Jenna Hagg. Now it's Bloomington from behind their own net. They'll bank that off the boards. and out to neutral, where it's picked off by Lakeville South, who will send that right back into the Bloomington end, where it'll be tracked down by Callie McCullen, another former Bloomington Kennedy player from last season. McCullen this year has 2 goals and no assists for the Bloomington Cooperative team. Here's the Jaguars from behind their own net. They'll send that up to the point to McCullen. McCullen will bank it off the half wall and go back down low. Now back to McCullen. She'll fire a flipping wrist shot through traffic that almost got through and caused some havoc on Clara Walenta. They'll center that, but it's intercepted by Lakeville South as they'll sweep it back into the Bloomington end and go off on a change. 44 seconds to go on the Bloomington power play. McCullen in a battle for the puck against a Cougar player. She'll get that up ahead to a teammate. Now here comes Bloomington through the neutral zone along the far side boards, working their way into the circle now down into the corner. They'll send that over to the near side corner to Olivia Solmine. Solmine now centering attempt, loose puck, and it's covered up by Clara Walenta with 24 seconds to go on the power play.
That was a very good idea to just put the puck in the middle of the ice and see if it would bounce in. You never know what's going to happen when you throw it in a mess like that.
It was a pretty good play for Bloomington to try to create some offense here on the power play. They'll have time for maybe a few more shots, but it's going to be tough to do when you don't win the face-off, as Lakeville South, I should say, they're going to be 2-on-1 short-handed.
2-on-2, actually. Brett, one did catch up late in the...
Yeah, 2-on-1 that turned into a 2-on-2. It was good hustle there by Bloomington's Mackenzie Booth, another former Kennedy player from last season, as now Lakeville South will go full strength as we're approaching the 1-minute mark here in the first period, as the Cougars have a 1-0 lead over the Bloomington Jaguars. A battle for the puck along the Cougar bench between 3 Cougars and 2 Jaguar players. They'll be poked into the Lakeville South end, where having possession will be Kelsey Olson. Way back to the Jefferson blue line, and now out to center. Both teams swatted the puck.
Swatted it being the key word. No one was able to really control that.
Exactly. And now caught out of the air. Still some swatting for the puck. I think that's kind of the word of the day here, at least the word of the last minute. No one really getting clear possession of the puck. Kind of back and forth here on the neutral zone.
30 seconds.
We're down to a half minute here in period number 1. With the Cougars out to that 1-0 lead on the power play goal. Cougars are 1 for 2 on the power play, and now here's a chance, even strength, but that one's casually snared out of the air by Ailey Plannon for the save with 14 seconds to go.
I know Plannon had a good shot, but she had 3-on-1. I think they should have moved the puck, or Plannon was set for the shot. I think Lakeville would have been better off moving the puck to see if they could get her moving her feet and maybe put the puck in the back of the net.
Here's Bloomington trying to kill off the last few seconds here of the first period. Battle for the puck along the near side boards. Don't think anyone's going to get a scoring chance here in the waning seconds. And that'll do it for the first period, as Lakeville South will skate into the first intermission with a 1-0 lead here over the Bloomington Jaguars. Let's give you a recap of that first period. The only goal was scored by number 14 for Lakeville South, Annabelle Bolshe, as she scored her first goal of the season at the 6:16 mark on the power play. For the first period, Lakeville South was 1 for 2 with the player advantage. Bloomington, on the other hand, was 0 for 1. Should have shots on goal coming up when we get to the start of the second period, as they're tallying that up below. Actually, we'll listen in and see if we can get you your shots on goal total.
Jefferson, 14 saves. And for Clara Walenta, Lakeville South, 6 saves.
So overall, 15-6 were the shots on goal in favor of Lakeville South, as they have a 1-0 lead. Take a timeout and have the second period on the way in about 12 minutes or so. You're listening to Girls High School Hockey right here on PSB Media. Welcome back here to Bloomington Ice Garden as we're getting ready for the start of the second period here on PSB Media. Glad to have you with us on this very, very cold Thursday evening. Driving on down here from Brooklyn Center. Took me about an hour and a half, and all I saw in my car was the thermometer drop from 5 to 2. How do you like that action? 2 degrees. And this weekend, I think, Jeff, the high is going to be like -1 on Saturday.
And not to be the bearer of bad news, Brett, but I was watching this morning, and they say those temperatures could last around here until almost December 20th.
Yeah. I think they're supposed to last at least through like the middle of next week. Then they say a, quote, warm front is coming when the temperature will hit 20.
Heat wave. I'm going to pull out my shorts and T-shirts.
Pull out the shorts and T-shirts. It's 20 degrees, folks. All right, let's get you back to hockey as we've had a good game so far with Lakeville South with a 1-0 lead over Bloomington as we get ready to start the second period. 15-6 are shots on goal in favor of the Cougars. Bailey Plamons had a very good game for the Jaguars so far in this one, and she'll need to stay tall. And importantly for Bloomington, they also got to stay out of the penalty box, as the only goal in the game has come on a Lakeville South power play, where they're now converting on 6 out of 10 power plays they've had so far this season. A cool 60%. You know how good their power play's been? They're 1 for 2 on the power play in this game, and their percentage on the season has gone down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty solid play with the man advantage. And there's a battle for the puck right in front, but it's covered up.
She made a beautiful save. That was a bouncing puck that sometimes are hard to handle, especially in that much traffic.
See if we can throw that one on replay before we get back to action.
I don't think we can, Brett.
Oh, just got it on there, yeah, kind of poking at the puck there. Back to action now. As we played into the near corner, trying to center it, but no one home on that attempt.
I'm surprised that both Jefferson and Lakeville have not tried to do more of that with centering of the puck.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that during the intermission, how you're saying maybe they got to open things up more offensively, kind of.
Yeah, for a goalie.
And loose in front and trying to shoot it through some traffic. Sorry to step on you there, Jeff. Go ahead now as it's back out to neutral.
For a goalie, they prefer you shoot from the wall sides because you only have one angle to shoot from, where if you put the puck in the middle, you have more of a net and the goalie has to take a guess, just similar, especially in a breakaway, it becomes kind of like a penalty shot.
And tripping on her way into the Lakeville South end, yeah. I don't know if there's a whole lot of contact, but
I think it was incidental contact because both of them were fighting for the puck, and when you do that, your stick will get tangled up in skates.
Kind of like the pass interference call in football, where if you're looking for the ball, they'll sometimes let you get away for some contact.
Besides, what the refs don't see, they can't call. And as most athletes will tell you, most refs are blind.
At least in favor of the other team. It's funny how when you're playing sports, every call seems to go against you.
Yeah, especially the ball bounces one of two ways. It either is for you or against you. And when things go bad, they seem to get worse.
That's right. That one's tipped back into the Lakeville South end. Well, the battle for the puck in that far corner. They'll send that back in near corner. We're hitting that out to neutral is Chloe Batta. Taken away by Jefferson. Yeah, that was Erica Beek. Here's Beek still fighting for the puck. She'll get it. Now down low, skating to the end wall, trying to center it, but it hit the back of the net. Lakeville South will bank it off a half wall end out, and pretty good hockey here for Bloomington over the past minute and a half or so, kind of having the majority of the play. That one's quickly up ahead to Alexandra Bolsma.
And that was tipped, so they do not get an icing call. That was
Yeah, we're going off on a change. I think Bloomington's played much better so far here in this second period. Got a lot more offense going.
We'll have to see. I think Bloomington will be fine early, but I'm wondering how the depth of Lakeville will affect Bloomington later in the game.
Yeah, Lakeville South certainly is a deep team, as they have a lot of players in that Lakeville Hockey Association. Natalie Darwitz has done a great job for Lakeville South, and Also, the Lakeville North program very strong as well. Don't show Bloomington short. They've picked up some numbers as well now that Jefferson and Kennedy have co-opted into a team. And even before they co-opt, I know the Jefferson program always had decent numbers.
Yeah, Jefferson, both boys and girls have been strong in hockey, as can be evident by the state championship banners for Jefferson in Bloomington Ice Garden.
Yeah, definitely. And the Jefferson girls hockey team had a good season last year, finishing above 500. They lost in the Section 2 semifinals, and big reason why they didn't really have a shot at state is that you had two of the best teams in Minnesota in their section in Edina and Eden Prairie. Those two teams actually squared off right here at the Bloomington Ice Garden. We had a chance to broadcast that section championship, and that was one of the best girls hockey games I had ever seen. It was 1-1 until there were just a couple of minutes left when Eden Prairie scored with like 59 seconds left to go to state. But back to action here between Lakeville South and Bloomington. The Jaguars just fanned on a clearing attempt as Olivia Stone dove and slid all the way out to mid-ice, but Lakeville South was unable to take advantage of.
That's why most coaches don't like that sliding technique, because it's either bang or bust. You either get the puck or you end up looking like a fool and sliding towards the middle of the ice.
Nightingale fires a shot up from the point. It was turned away, and now loose in front, and somehow making the save was Walenta, just getting a pad on that one, as Bloomington had an open net. If they had gone high on that one, they for sure would have tied the game up, but heads up play by Walenta to make the save. Now Lakeville South going the other way in transition. It'll be turned over to Bloomington. Yeah. Bloomington trying to hit number 11, Alexandra Bolsma, in transition. Didn't get her stick on that one cleanly. And now it's Lakeville South back out to neutral.
But if Jefferson can keep this pace up and with hold, they did well battling and getting the puck towards Lakeville's end. So let's see if they can finish it off and put one in the back of the net.
We're talking about Bailey Planet of Bloomington's had a good game. Also got to credit Claire Walenta making that big save a moment ago. Here's Lakeville South trying to get something going on a 2-on-1. Firing the shot was Olivia Stone. It was blocked though by Planet.
And sometimes with Lakeville's goalie, you end up the limited shots actually make it harder when shots like that happen, because you aren't as into the game as, let's say, Planin, who's had a lot of shots in that first period. You're more mentally focused when you have more shots at you.
Dug out by Lakeville South. They'll throw that at the net, but hit a couple of bodies before it had any chance to get there. And be chased down by number 16, Sarah Fritchie of Bloomington, where it's cleared back out into the Lakeville South end. Both teams, of course, do have the long change here in the second period, as Bloomington was trying to sneak a change in, as that line had been on the ice for a while. It'll be Olivia Spellmeyer getting it back out to the neutral zone. And now a battle for the puck near that penalty box will come away to Lakeville South. Now it's turned over to Bloomington. They're 2-on-3 as a couple of players are going off on a change, as Walenta will tip that one up into the boards. Here come the Cougars along the near side boards, but good job by Nightingale to block that counter attack. Now Lakeville South will reset back in their own end.
Ooh, nice hit, but in open ice.
That was Stone, it looked like, who delivered that hit for Bloomington. 9:18 as they try to get that up to Stone, as she's tied up with a Lakeville player. Cougars get it, as they'll send that over to the far side. They'll work with it up towards the bench, and a penalty is going to come up on Bloomington. Jefferson. That one's an easy call to make. As a Lakeville South player fell to the ice, as it will be tripping against Bloomington, as they'll call that against number 22, Danielle Deblacek. She'll head to the box, and we'll get our third look here at the Lakeville South power play.
And Brett, as you said earlier, Lakeville is on average 2 for 3 when it comes to power plays. Let's see if they can keep that percentage, or if Jefferson can withstand another penalty and kill this one like they did just the last one.
So far, penalty looking so good as they have it tied up. And the Lakeville South end, again, DeBleek got the penalty for Bloomington. Here comes Lakeville South on the power play. There's a shot that goes wide. They'll tip it back down low into the corner. Now work their way back up top to the point. There's a shot that's blocked by Erica Beek of Bloomington. Now from the corner. They'll work their way out in front. A loose puck was there for a moment. Now it's shot right back at Plamet, who makes the save. Now a slap shot from the point was blocked by the Bloomington defense. I think Beek got her body in front of that one.
That one went off her skate.
Low into the Lakeville South end. Beek with a good shift here on the penalty kill for the Bloomington Jaguars. Now here comes Lakeville South carrying it into the Bloomington zone. They'll work with it into the far corner and sweep that one up top. Surveying the ice is number 8, Kelsey Olson. They'll get it back up top to Olson. Olson looking, will shoot it through traffic. That one is deflected wide. 30 seconds to go on the Lakeville South power play. They'll be back up top to Olson. Olson to a teammate right into the slot, but it's turned away back into the corner by Callie McCullen. There's a shot. That one goes wide. Takes a bounce off the end wall. They'll send that back in front. Open net. Didn't get through to Plamen. Now she covers it up. And we'll get a whistle as there's 10 seconds to go here on the Cougar power play.
You know, sometimes blasting those hard shots off the back wall is not a bad idea because you'll get weird bounces off that back wall, and goalies don't always know how to anticipate how those are going to bounce.
And that bounce almost set up Lakeville South with a goal. As soon as it bounced, the player got it right down low and sent that weak side, and came close to being another Lakeville South goal.
Jefferson
Penalty has expired as Bloomington has full strength. And it's coming out of the box. The number 22 head chick of the Jaguars. He banked off the wall and right back in. And almost had the tip down low as they had Hallie Redlin ready to tip that one back in. Good setup there for the Cougars. Now spinning and sending that over to the near side where nobody's home. And this Bloomington line needs to get off on a change. They've been on the ice for a while. They'll get their chance as they'll shoot that down deep. Everybody goes off on a change for the Jaguars.
You could definitely see that line needed to change out.
Up to the point, that shot will go wide as it was a low shot from Rachel Gaff. Rachel Gaff on the season with 3 points, 3 assists on the year, still searching for her first goal. It's not a real high-scoring Bloomington team. And that one will be covered up by the goaltender, Claire Walenta, as we'll get a whistle with 6 minutes to go here in the second period. But check this out, Jeff. Bloomington only averaging 2.71 goals per game so far this season, so definitely shows they're a defensive team. Normally when you think someone will only average 2.71 goals per game,
usually
they wouldn't have a winning record.
I was going to say, their record is usually not too good.
And the Bloomington's put together that solid 5-2 record.
That just makes you look at the goalies and really get impressed, because when a goalie knows they're only going to get, on average, 2 goals to a game, they know that they have to be focused and careful to make sure they don't give up more than one a game if they can.
Yes, I think it's kind of been Bloomington's game that they've wanted to play so far. We're approaching the last few minutes of the second period, and we're still 1-0. This is the exact kind of game that Mark Steffen, the head coach of the Jaguars, would want to play against a very talented Lakeville South team. Big collision there as falling to the ice was Olivia Spellmeyer.
I don't think that was a collision, Brett. I think she just lost her edge.
Okay.
From what I could see,
little slick ice.
From what I could see from my angle, she just lost her edge and went straight into the boards.
Hopefully it won't be us in the parking lot after the game. It is icy outside here in Bloomington. if you're watching this game from outside of Minnesota, we have some listeners that usually tune in from other states, warmer states, whether it's Florida, Arizona, or occasionally even different country. It's brutally cold here in Minnesota on this December Thursday.
All I want for Christmas is for you to send us some warmer weather.
That's right. We'll come away out to the neutral zone as Jefferson will bank that near the bench and try to send that down deep. Here's a one-on-one chance, but that one will be turned away by Walenta. Now into the near corner, they center it, no one home. A loose puck comes away to number 10, Callie McCullen. Looks like the goaltender, Walenta, had trouble with it for just a moment, but she's able to cover it up with 4:07 to go here in the second period.
That was a beautiful wrist shot. Just too bad it couldn't get up a little bit higher. It would have went over Walenta's shoulder.
Grab that one on replay for you. Actually just missed the shot. There's the shot, as you can see, where it looked like Walenta maybe had trouble with it for just a moment. Now back to live action. It's covered up again as we'll get another whistle with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, Brett, I don't know if you can pull this stat, but faceoffs seem to be evening out, where first period was Lakeville. Lakeville will seem to be winning a lot of the faceoffs. It seems to be evening out this period. Hence the reason Jefferson, I think, has got a lot of offensive attacks.
That's a good observation because they certainly have had much more puck possession than they had in the first period. Interesting to see what the shots on goal are once we head into the second intermission. But yeah, just going back to the point that I think Mark Steffen has to like the way this game has turned out. A good low-scoring game, and maybe grab a goal or two in transition. You'll come away with a win or a tie. McCullen will collide with a couple of Lakeville South players. Referee playing good defense there for the Cougars as he kind of aids in holding the puck in the zone.
Yeah, officials, they never can get out of the way just quite fast enough. Sometimes you just want to bowl through them, but you can't.
Yeah, you'll be ending up sitting down there in that penalty box. Or else hopefully not pulling what Chris Cook did for the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Brett, but I can't afford that penalty.
Yeah. And good little play there by number 22, Danielle Debchek. She was kind of in a 1-on-3, just threw it at the net, got a rebound chance, and then it was covered up by Walenta. That's about as much as you can do when you don't have numbers with you on a rush like that.
As coaches will say, throw it at the net, wilder things will happen.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the second period. Lakeville South will send that over to the near side. Jefferson will bank that off the wall. It gets all the way through to Walenta, who will send that into the corner. Now from the end wall, pass intercepted by number 13, Nikki Nightingale. No scoring chance materializes, though, from that opportunity. And now it's right back out to center ice. Bloomington touches up at the line. They can go back in and forecheck. Cougars will bank it off the half wall. Back out to center ice, but here's Nightingale working her way along the near side boards and now into the corner. She'll have her pocket picked, though, by number 8, Kelsey Olson. Now it'll be Nelson. Nelson out to center, and good defensive play there by Sarah Frashy.
Way to meet her.
Because that would have been a 2-on-1 for Lakeville South.
That was definitely a good job by Jefferson to meet them at the puck.
Had a player streaking towards center, but they weren't able to get that centering pass off cleanly. Under 2 minutes to go, still 1-0 Lakeville South with the lead over Bloomington. Now it's sent down low, where Bloomington will have the puck. They'll center it again, and just past the stick of Kendall Fashing. Held in, though, by the Jaguars. Great job. And that one's tipped up into the air. Boy, Jeff, they had a player open down low. That was number 9, Olivia Stone.
And one of Lakeville's players was without a stick.
We'll see
for
if
a second.
Bloomington can take advantage. They'll send that right back in, as this has by far been Bloomington's best shift of the game. As look at Kendall Fashing hustling down there to chase the puck for the Jaguars, and that'll force Lakeville South to ice it with a minute to go. A great shift for Bloomington, as they've definitely taken the momentum here in this game, and really cap off the momentum would be getting a goal here at the end of the second period.
With 1 minute left, they definitely have time to do it.
And Walenta didn't know where the puck was for a second. You could see her looking over that shoulder, but she had it covered up.
That was the, oh my God, where's the puck look?
Off the face-off, it's tied up in the circle. Lakeville South will come away with it. And held in, picked the pocket. Good steal by Jefferson. And that shot is fired by Alexandra Brolsma. But a big save made by Claire Walenta, who suddenly had a very good game for the Cougars.
That one definitely sounded like it had some heat on it.
Bloomington gets it again off the face-off, and Walenta with good reaction time got a piece of that one to make the save. All Bloomington here over the past 2 or 3 minutes. And now here comes Lakeville South in transition. That one will be thrown into the corner. They'll get that up to the point. Through some traffic, and it looks like that one just went wide. I didn't get a good angle to see if anyone got a piece of that, but it looked like they had an open net.
Jefferson pushed it just wide.
A yikes play right there, as that would have been a real deflating goal if Lakeville South had scored.
Looks like they called offsides or something on Lakeville.
Or they might have called a hand pass, I think. That's why it's going to be deep here in the south end.
And with just over 10 seconds left, that gives Jefferson. Let's see what Jefferson tries to do, see if they can tie this game up.
Over into the near corner. Lakeville South will just bank it into the opposite corner, and that'll pretty much do it here for the second period. As Lakeville South, will skate away with a 1-0 lead.
Going into the third period.
Yeah, no goals were scored in that second period. The only thing we have to report to you is that Lakeville South went 0 for 1 on the power play in the second. Now for the game, they're 0 for 3 on the power play.
1 for 3 there, Brett.
Or 1 for 3, I'm sorry. Yep, they scored their 1 goal on the power play. So 1 for 3 for Lakeville South.
Starting with the goalkeepers for Bailey Conn.
Take a timeout and have the third period on the way. We'll also have shots on goal for you once we start the third period as well. And welcome back to Bloomington Ice Garden as we're getting ready for the start of the third period. Been a good game so far as Lakeville South has a 1-0 lead over the Bloomington Jaguars. Stats on the game, Lakeville South is out shooting Bloomington by a 33-18 margin, although Bloomington got a lot of offense in the last 2 or 3 minutes of that second period. We'll see if they can carry over that momentum here in the third period as they look for that game-tying goal.
And speaking about the game-tying goal, Brett, watching Lakeville South goalie last period, she seemed to be dropping down pretty early into her butterfly, so maybe Jefferson would want to think about faking a shot, see if they could get her down in the butterfly, and see if they could open the net that way.
Or maybe go upstairs as well. We haven't really seen a lot of Bloomington shots that have been up in the air. They've been a lot of grounders, it seems. Oh, they had a player cherry-picking Olivia Spellmeyer they tried to hit. Couldn't quite get the puck, though. And now Lakeville South will have it from behind their own net. Lakeville South, a team that is a little bit more high-scoring than Bloomington. They average 3.4 goals per game, but like the Jaguars, also get very solid goaltending. They give up just 1.6 a game. They rotate Claire Valenta and Chloe Crosby, as after this game, each will have played in 3 games for the Cougars. And that'll be backhanded out.
One of the Cougars looks like she may have got hurt in that last collision in center ice. She was slow to get up and slow to get back to the bench.
Hopefully she's all right. I did see a collision there with a couple of players slow to get up. And last play, it was Lamon making the save and giving up a rebound momentarily before she was able to cover it back up. Over into the far corner, Lakeville South will have possession as they certainly have come out with a lot more offense here in the third period than they had in the last few minutes of the second period. Here comes Jefferson as they'll lose it out near that face-off circle. Hit delivered there, but no penalty. Close to being a check, but look, overall a good call. More incidental contact than anything. Will be banked off the wall. And into the Lakeville South end. Makes a move. The shot pops up into the air and goes over the net. Good opportunity there for Bloomington, as it looks like Valenta didn't quite see that one cleanly.
Hard to see one cleanly when it's above your head there, Brett.
Yeah. Well, it popped up into the air. And now it scores! Bloomington just throws it at the net and they get a goal and tie this game up at 1.
Again, like I said, she went down in the butterfly and it got tipped and slipped into the back of the net.
Throwing it from almost along the end line in that far corner, as you can see on replay, it ends up working for Bloomington. Not the prettiest goal you'll ever see, but hey, a goal's a goal.
Ugly but effective.
Exactly. So we got ourselves a hockey game, and getting the goal will be number 27, Kendall Fashing. Fitting that she would get the goal as she had a close call in the second period, trying to get a goal for the Jaguars.
From the bleed at 1:52.
This one's certainly gotten a lot more interesting as it's tied up in front of the Bloomington bench.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Lakeville's able to respond or if Jefferson can just capitalize on the momentum shift and see if they can put another one as they continue to keep the puck down in Lakeville's end.
Lakeville South spinning in their own end. It'll be taken away by the Jaguars. They'll send it behind the net, trying the wraparound. Loose puck, but that one's swept wide. Would have been a tough shot anyways from that angle. There's another shot trying to go upstairs. Good shot fired there by Sarah Frici. And now the Jaguars starting right where they left off in that second period. Here they come one-on-one, working their way to center, but she lost her stick handle. Good
little
defense.
poke check by the defenseman there.
Some hitting along the near side boards. So with the exception of that first minute here of the third period where Lakeville South had possession, well, the Jaguars looked exactly like they did at the end of the second period where they started putting on all sorts of pressure icing waved off. Bloomington will have it from their own end. They'll bank it off the half wall out to neutral. And they're going to say that Maddie Vrolasek got a stick on that one, so icing waved off.
It did sound like there was at least something that got a piece of the puck.
It nicked her stick if it did anything. And icing waved off on that one as well, so Lakeville South. They'll center it, but that shot is blocked and tipped up into the air. They'll get that back to the point, and they score! I don't think Bailey Plamin saw that at all, and it's a goal for Lakeville South. Tough break for the Jaguars, but a great shot for the Lakeville South Cougars to throw it at the net and get on the scoreboard and retake the lead.
Yes, it was. That was definitely a tough break for Jefferson, working so hard to tie the game up and then to just end up back down by one that quick.
I'm not sure that shot wasn't tipped by the Jefferson defenseman right in front of the shooter. Have to get the word on the goal for Lakeville South.
Number 7, Morgan Morris. Assist to number 6, Haley Ravendown.
They tried to send it in and tip it in again. That seems to be one of Lakeville's strategies, is get someone in the front of the net and throw the puck at it and let them try and tip it.
And getting credit for the goal, if you didn't hear it with the PA announcer, it was on number 7, Morgan Morris. Here's Bloomington looking for the tying goal, but that one's turned away by Claire Walenta. And now a loose puck in front. It'll be corralled by Lakeville South, but they'll send that back out to the neutral zone. Jefferson will dump that right back in, where it'll be retrieved by Madison Brown. Brown spinning to evade a Bloomington player, and now banning on a dump attempt for the Jaguars. Fortunately, the Cougars weren't able to capitalize on that one. Could have been disastrous. Under 12 minutes to go as Lakeville South has taken a 2-1 lead, as we had 2 goals scored in less than a 2-minute span. Jefferson momentarily tied up the game, but less than 2 minutes later, the Cougars retook the lead off of a shot that I still think was tipped on the way to Bailey Plamin, as she did not see that puck at all.
There was also a lot of traffic in front of her.
Yeah,
there,
that
Brett.
too. There's a defenseman right in front of Morgan Morris, and I'm thinking that the Jefferson defenseman inadvertently got her stick on that one.
That'd be what they classify as an own goal in soccer?
Jeff, just want to warn you, I think our camera just went off for a second. In the meantime, I'll give you audio play-by-play. Lakeville South will have a 2-on-1, but it's taken away by McCullen, and there we go, back with our video.
Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, you didn't miss anything. And now Callie McCullen will be tied up along the far boards. And now here's Bloomington 1-on-1 as Olivia Stone will dump it on in. As that one is not held in. Now Lakeville South, a 2-on-1. Here they go. And a great job to get a stick on that one by number 21, Rachel Graff, as they were trying to send it over to the weak side player. But nothing doing, so we remain 2-1.
Looks like the slapping of the puck in the central ice is back. We didn't see as much of that in the second period, and that I think definitely suited Jefferson's style. More of a puck control offense.
And picking the pocket of number 21 of Bloomington, Rachel Graff, was a Lakeville South player who nearly scored. Now a loose puck in front, and Plamin able to cover it up and make the save. It was loose right in front of Plamin, but she was able to get her glove on that one to make the save with under 10 minutes to go.
Yes, there was definitely plenty of Cougars knocking at the door on that one.
So face-off will be to the right of Bailey Plamin. Coming into the third period, she had stopped 32 of 33 Cougar shots. Cullen will send that to a teammate. They'll bank it off the wall, not out. Stumbling for a moment was number 14 of Lakeville South.
Tried to center it, got redirected.
That was Bloomington skating with it outside their own zone. Unfortunately, Olivia Spellmeyer didn't see that puck. It'll go all the way down the length of the ice for an icing call with 9:18 to go here in period number 3.
I'm wondering if Olivia is getting tired, because not only did she not see that, she seemed to give up pretty easily on that puck and not try and chase it down.
I'd like to remind you, if you'd want to catch more broadcasts of Bloomington hockey, whether it's boys and girls, we have more games coming up all season long. Check our schedules page on psbmn.com, or if you want a specific team to look up, just go to under that Team Sports menu, and you can see all the games we'll broadcast. I believe we'll have all of the Kennedy and Jefferson boys hockey games. For the girls, I believe we'll have, 7 more Bloomington girls hockey home games, so plenty of opportunities to catch some great hockey here on PSB and also on VEC TV, as we're teaming with them to broadcast just about every home game for the Bloomington hockey teams. I'd like to thank you, if you are watching on VEC TV, Channel 16, to our live coverage here of Bloomington versus Lakeville South hockey, a South Suburban Conference matchup, a battle for first place. In a good one, as the Cougars have a 2-1 lead.
Bart, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not the only time these two teams will see each other either.
Well, I believe it is a double round robin, at least with most of the teams in the South Suburban Conference, but I do believe you're correct that they will play each other one more time. Lakeville South will get it, and trying to wrap around was a Cougars player, Morgan Morse. She was denied, as we'll get that whistle with 7:54 to go. Now, there's 12 teams in the South Suburban Conference. I don't believe they do a double round robin with everybody, because that would require a 22-game schedule, and I know a lot of the teams want to play at least a few non-conference games, but they'll play most of the teams in the league 2 times. A few of them they'll play just once.
Well, I hope this one is definitely one that got put up for a second one, because if it's anything like this game, I'd pay to watch that one.
Yeah, this has been a good game so far. Very good game. It's kind of what it felt like. Bloomington was taking the momentum. They had really put on the pressure towards the end of the second and the beginning of the third. They came back to tie the game, but 2 minutes later, Lakeville South struck and retook a 2-1 lead. And well, since then, Bloomington doesn't seem like they've had quite the same jump in their skates. That'll be dumped into the Jaguar end. They'll send it off the half wall out to center line. And that'll trickle all the way down to the end boards. And that'll be cleared out. And icing is going to be waved off. Under 7 minutes to go here in the third period. Lakeville South carrying the puck as they'll skate with it over the blue line. And wanting to get that shot off, but I think it was tipped away by the Jaguars. They'll now send that over near side, but it intercepted a slap shot. Not getting all of it was number 16, Kelly Redville. And the Cougars will still have it.
I don't know, if I was Redville, I may have taken that in and seen if I could find a teammate to dish that off to last second and see if I could get an open.
Kind of the pass that looks like a shot. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, fake the slap shot and drop a pass, because I think that would have caught Jefferson by surprise.
Played out to center ice as it'll be retrieved by Holly Freemark. Freemark off the half wall, and now finally out. Battle for the puck right in front of the Lakeville South bench. And the head coach of the Cougars is Natalie Darwitz. That one's thrown on the net by Bloomington.
Too bad she didn't have anyone with her, because that would have been a perfect one to fake and drop.
Sticked aside by Walenta as it pops up into the air. And that one's going to be icing against Lakeville South, as we'll get a whistle with 5:25 to go in period number 3. I have to see if Jefferson starts to take some more risks offensively and maybe send their defensemen in a little bit further than they normally would. Still, of course, way too early to pull your goalie or anything like that. Thrown on, but that one goes away.
Especially with Lakeville's strong offense, I don't know if I'd want to pull my goalie until like a minute or less left in the game.
I'd have to agree with you. Probably won't see a pulled goalie until there's less than a minute left. Number 7, Morse, got sandwiched by a couple of Bloomington players. Here comes the Jaguars. Losing her stick handle was Olivia Stone. Looks like the Jaguars have started to show some fatigue here in the latter stages of this third period. Lakeville South just appears to be a little bit quicker on their skates right now.
I think the size factor, because Lakeville seems to have a lot bigger players as well, I think that may have played a little bit of a factor with all of the traffic in front of the net. As anyone that's played sports know, when you get close to the net or in basketball the hoop, lots of contact happens that does not get called.
Approaching the 4-minute mark as McCullen will try to chase that down for the Jaguars. Good job, though, as Maddie Vorlik will shoot that off the half wall and out. A moment ago, she did a great job holding the zone for the Lakeville South Cougars. Battle for the puck right near that Jefferson logo at center ice, and a big collision into the Lakeville South boards. And I'm hoping she's okay. That was a pretty big spill.
She went head first into the boards.
Yeah, that was a pretty big spill right there. Hopefully she's all right. While they tend to her, we're going to go ahead and take a timeout. You are listening to high school hockey right here on PSB. And we're back here at Bloomington Ice Garden, as it was Jenna Hagg who took kind of a nasty spill a second ago. She's up on her own power, hopefully just...
She still looks a little woozy.
Hopefully, maybe just had the wind knocked out of her, and will end up being all right. I'm sure they'll probably do the concussion test, as it looks like she went in maybe head first as well. But fortunately, she's up on her own power. We'll have a face-off deep in the Lakeville South zone. Trying to poke that one out to neutral, but not out. Still held in momentarily, but now Jaguars will have to regroup. Here's Nightingale. Nightingale's tied up, though, by a Bloomington player. Still tied up along those far side boards. And the Cougars just able to force it out of their own zone. That will at least force Bloomington to touch up at the blue line before they go back in on their forecheck. From the near corner, Rolsma trying to get a stick on that one. It's tied up, though, with a Lakeville South player. And, hey, if you're the Cougars, you'll take this. Just takes more and more time off the clock as we're under 3 minutes to go. At the blue line, they'll ring it around the end boards. Good job by Lakeville South, as everything has been along the rail here over the past minute.
Yeah, forcing everything to the rail, like we said earlier. Definitely, if Jefferson's going to get a shot, that's where the Lakeville goalie wants it to come from, would be the rail.
Now a chance in transition. Bloomington with the numbers, trying to work their way in front, as that was number 12, Erica Beek. I don't know.
Did she draw a penalty, or did the net just come loose? Looks like the net just
kind of crashed into the net. I was going to say it kind of looked like some indecision on her part on what she wanted to do with that one, whether to take that shot and make a move or maybe try to do a centering pass.
Yeah, kind of got caught in the triple threat position and didn't have enough room to do so.
And because she knocked the net off herself, that faceoff will come outside the Lakeville South zone.
Lakeville's center has done a very good job of tying it up and just letting the wings come in and dig it out.
And blocked by the leg of a Bloomington player, and hustling after the puck is Hannah Curran along with the Lakeville player, but Bullseye was able to get to it first for Lakeville South as they're able to clear it out. Here's McCullen. She'll backhand it.
The two Lakeville players did a very good job. One riding the Jefferson player off, and the other one going after the loose puck.
Banked and now out. Here's Lakeville South. They're 2-on-2 if they hurry. Morris holds, now centers it, but a collision right in front of the net. Play continues on that incidental contact. Now a shot and loose, still loose on the rebound, but it pops away. And break there for the Jaguars as Lakeville South not able to cash in on that insurance goal. 90 seconds to go here in regulation. And they had Redville ready to break in on a breakaway, but Bloomington was able to get a stick on that one.
Yeah, they almost got Bloomington Jefferson in a line change.
Lakeville South will send that down, and good job by Hannah Curran to block that one. That one was going to go straight on the empty net.
Just got a tip on it.
Yeah, got a stick on that. And as you can probably tell, the net is empty for Bloomington as we're under a minute to go here in the third period. That'll be sent out towards the sideboards. Some players tripping and falling. Your Lakeville South, you'll be happy with the puck played out in the neutral zone. 40 seconds. 2-1, Lakeville South with the lead. Bloomington looking for the tying. Here's Curran. Fires a shot. Save made by Walenta. 31 seconds. Not out as it's rung out. There's a shot thrown on. Loose on a rebound. Still loose in front, and now it goes to the end wall. Bloomington with the puck still in front. Still loose. And Walenta able to block it. Now they throw it on. 14 seconds left. Now they'll try to wrap around. Get it in front. A shot with 10 seconds. Still loose in front. 8 seconds. No one's covered it up yet. And now it pops up into the air with 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1. And that'll do it as Bloomington and Lakeville South will skate to the end of the game, with Lakeville South coming away with a 2-1 victory over the Jefferson Kennedy Jaguars in a very good game.
That was a very good game. Lakeville seemed to have almost everyone just packed around the net saying, you can throw the puck at the net all you want. We are not going to let this puck go through.
So that'll do it here from the Bloomington Ice Garden as Lakeville South with an impressive 2-1 victory over the Jefferson Kennedy Jaguars, as Lakeville South will move into first place in the conference along with Burnsville. Bloomington Jefferson will fall into the middle of the pack in the South Suburban. Next game for the Bloomington Jaguars will come your way on Saturday as they host Rosemount here at the Bloomington Ice Garden. That'll be a BEC TV broadcast that you can watch on our website, as we'll team up with BEC TV to bring you coverage of that game. So if you want to watch the Jaguars play again, tune in Saturday. It'll be a 1 o'clock game against Rosemount, and we'll have it for you here on PSBMN.com, courtesy of BEC TV, who will handle the production side of that game. You can also, of course, watch that on Channel 16 in Bloomington. For Lakeville South, their next game is on Saturday at Burnsville. That'll be another first-place battle here in the South Suburban Conference. Thanks so much for tuning into this hockey game. My name is Brett Johnson, and Jeff Garten up there doing camera and color on tonight's game. Again, final score, Lakeville South beats the Jefferson Kennedy Jaguars 2-1. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.